Bienvenidos a AfterBuzz TV, el ESPN de conversaciones de televisión.
Bienvenidos, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Bien, ¿y tú?
Bien.
Everyone, welcome to the Gentefied after show here at AfterBuzz TV. My name is Issac Meizner. I'm really happy to be here with you guys. And right here to my left, I have the beautiful, the one and only, my friend right here. Introduce yourself, please.
Elizabeth Peña.
Perfect.
So, aquí nada más vamos a hablar puro Spanglish.
Spanglish, sí. Así que si no les gusta el Spanglish, discúlpenos, pero el show está en Spanglish, entonces...
Nosotros también.
Sí. Por el día de hoy, por esta temporada. Ok, entonces el día de hoy vamos a hablar del primer capítulo. ¿Qué te pareció? Tus primeras impresiones.
El show, puedo, ¿cómo se dice? Relate to it. Puedo...
Identificarme.
Tú que sabes más español, me puedes aquí
claro
ayudar,
que sí, con
por
mucho
favor.
Gusto.
Sí, ahorita miro mucho, me miro mucho yo en Ana.
Okay.
Yeah, so ella, I love her. Me encanta cómo actúa y sí también logré de, look up a little bit about Ana. Y she's from New Orleans.
Oh,
so
wow.
I was so surprised that, someone from New Orleans can play an East LA girl
right.
so good. So
yeah.
shout out to Ana or Carrie,
right.
her real name.
Both work.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I think it's really cool to see different people, actors in real life. Some of them are born in Mexico. Some of them are, Mexican-American. So it's really cool. Like, for me, I wasn't born here. I wasn't raised here. But I still can identify. I mainly identify with Pops, whom he's older than me, obviously, but para mí es como que él también no nació aquí y su historia y su manera de ver las cosas es diferente. Él ya tiene una experiencia en otro país, entonces estoy de acuerdo contigo. Pero a ver, aparte de Ana, ¿con quién más? ¿Quién te sorprendió su historia hasta ahorita? ¿O qué se te ha hecho lo más original de este nuevo programa hasta ahorita? Porque apenas es el primer capítulo.
Sí, el primero es mucho que tienes que averiguar quién es quién y también los nombres de todos los actores o los que, los nombres de las personas en Gentefied. Estoy también tratando de averiguar de qué exactamente se trata porque el show empieza como tienen que agarrar todo el dinero de la renta. Y de ahí es cuando mire, esos son los problemas que los mexicanos sí tenemos, porque hay veces que hay muchos de nuestros negocios que se cierran porque hay alguien, higher above, y luego la renta increases, y especially here in LA, we know how rent is, out here. So I felt like I could relate to also Pops because he was the one that's, holding the family together. But at the same time, he's facing like having to pay the landlord, which, played by Wilmer Valderramas, which is pretty funny because, he has an accent. So it's almost like the perfect guy, with the nopal en la frente. And I was like, okay, see, and that's another thing too. I could relate to the landlord because I can't speak Spanish for a whole hour worth of conversation, I have to ask, be like, ¿Cómo se dice esto? So I felt like the show was also original with having half Spanglish and, they would, the kids, they would speak to the Pops, in English and Pops would speak back in Spanish. And I was like, oh, that's kind of how, I grew up too, So that was very original that the show, you can see that the dad understands English, but he chooses to keep speaking Spanish, which is pretty cool because, para que no se le pierda el lenguaje.
Yeah, no, I agree. And, one of the characters, they call him güero, gringo.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Mexicano. So I think some people will be like, you know what? Yeah, that's true. I mean, there are Mexicans, Americans, people in general. Everyone's story is different, pero que vienen y tal vez nacieron en México o en Guatemala, en El Salvador, en algún otro país, pero nunca aprendieron español, ya sea porque sus papás nunca les enseñaron o maybe they're second generation, third generation, so they just never really learned. But that doesn't mean they're not Latino anymore. That doesn't mean they're not Mexican anymore. So I think that's a subject that a lot of people kind of turn a side eye. You know? They'll be like, oh, no hablas español, okay? And I'll
then
admit
you get judged.
Yeah, no, I'll admit it. Before, I used to be like, okay.
Yes.
Okay, I would judge a little bit. Pero ahora, ya que convivo con gente que that's the case, And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We are a community, so it's more than that. So I can see how you were saying, like, you identify with people's stories, no matter of the language or what they look like. So I think that's very, very cool. Could you explain, maybe, if you feel comfortable, to me including, because we get mixed up. I said Gentefied or Gentefied.
Oh yeah, you were saying
yeah,
Gentefied
I was saying
at the
Gentefied,
beginning.
yes.
Yeah, so I was just like, it's probably, gentrification that they're trying to, mix in with Gentefied.
Uh-huh.
So, you know how, like, they're struggling with having to, make rent?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so they gave the idea of maybe you should fix up the place.
Right.
So which is kind of like, gentrification, you make this ugly place a better place, but at the same time, things get more expensive.
Right.
So, I immediately thought, like, it was Gentefied because I was like, there's gente, but then I was like, gentrified.
No, for sure.
Yeah, so I think what this show is trying to show, too, is that, like, you can have our culture, a little remix, if anything.
For sure. Yeah.
Because there is times when we have to, upgrade or, kind of like keep up with the times. So I think what you're seeing here is Latinos, changing the culture to try to like modernize it or something like that. But that's what I'm kind of catching with this first, episode. I'm like, okay, it's kind of going to go somewhere. They're going to make changes, and they're going to have to make changes because they have to, make rent. Yeah. So I'm curious to see, like, especially after they fired the poor man for 20 years, that's when I was like, okay, these are real life, situations that happen. And because of, gentrification. So, when the lease goes up, so does, inflation with the food has to, get more expensive, pay cuts, even people getting fired. So at this point, you're leaving the Latinos that are especially undocumented to have to go, look for jobs that, are not the best jobs, like, farm work. There's, factories. There's just hazardous even conditions, like, like when you see people, in construction.
Right.
So the fact that, like, you're seeing, like, more behind the scenes of, like, what Latinos are going through, I think that's, like, beautiful to portray us in a way where we are actually, like, living or how we're actually living each day. Yeah, but, like, how would you relate to that, too?
Well, something that I think it's important, at least, again, para la gente que no habla mucho inglés o prefiere el español, o que igual, y de nuevo, como yo que no creció aquí, dice, ¿qué es gentrification? ¿Qué es eso? Lo más cerca que yo podría decir, el término en español sería urbanización, que básicamente significa que en ciertas áreas de la ciudad, en ciertas colonias más de bajos recursos, cosas así, que empiezan a llegar, por ejemplo, en esta ocasión, al restaurante, les suben muchísimo la renta, más del doble, para que adrede no puedan pagar la renta, entonces se tengan que salir, y en ese lugar van a tumbar el edificio o la estructura antigua que había ahí y van a construir un edificio nuevo de departamentos lujosos.
Supuestamente nuevos ramen spots.
Exacto. Entonces, creo que eso es algo importante resaltar. Y no, yo totalmente te hago un eco a lo que acabas de decir, porque sí, creo que there are issues that just not only every big city in this country, but any country around the world, I'm sure goes through this. And like you said, I think there's a lot of issues that maybe you don't right away think of, like people that are undocumented.
Yes.
And what the repercussions are going to be now, where they have to go look for jobs. And those relationships, working at a restaurant or any company, having the same job for X amount of years, like a lot of years, like 25 years in this case, and then you don't build a 401k, you don't have insurance most of the time, you don't have job security. It's not like you can sue them, most likely, because you're also scared. So I think that's very son como cosas que the society tries to like not talk about, and then just we're all aware of it.
I think what it is too is that, like, because some Hispanics are going through so much hardships that we forget to be just advocates for the the issues, because we have so much going on in our lives.
Right.
Yeah, so like the kids, they're trying to, at least Anna, she's trying to get her paintings out there, and she misses this, meeting to go see this guy because of these things, and it's because she's putting so much hard work to help Pop's,
right.
business. So it's like people forget that, or like she's having to take care of her little sister.
Right.
So it's like we have a lot of responsibilities, behind closed doors that don't allow us to reach our highest potentials.
Right.
Yeah. So it's cool that like Pops is helping the kids out, but you can see the tension. Like I don't know if you caught the tension between the brothers.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. How like one's paying rent and one's not. So that's also relatable because it's like, I would get charged rent, but yet my little sister wouldn't. But my mom's like, oh, because she's going to college. And I'm like, okay, well, just because I'm just, doing my general ed doesn't mean that, I have like no dreams.
Yeah.
So, you get to see all of them, just battle little like situations.
Right.
But yeah, it's pretty cool.
No, absolutely. Yeah. And how about that moment where we find out another, how do I put it? Otra situación, because I don't know how else to describe it, pero
sí, ¿qué problema?
LGBT in the Latino community.
Oh,
so we have a lesbian couple that is in your face, and I think that's really, really cool. But not only that, we are also taking part of the conversation of Afro-Latinos. So let's start with LGBT in the lesbian relationship that we have. Were you like taking it back? Because I was happy to see it, but I was like, wow, like times are changing. Like definitely, back when my grandparents were here, like those were hush hush.
That
like,
would never be allowed. Yeah.
No existía en esos tiempos. Entonces, did you like that, or did you feel like it's more of a family show? Let's keep it like more kid friendly.
I think it needed to be shown because that's what we're going through right now. We're evolving, LGBT community, we're more accepting of it. I mean, I'm hoping, at least. But I personally was like okay with it. It was almost like a normal a normal to me because like I've seen, just certain friends that I have, already, go through certain things. So now I'm like, and I have cousins that are gay. So when I saw that, I was like, this is kind of beautiful because you're seeing like for the first time, like a lesbian Latina relationship.
Yeah. And
they love each other so much that I'm just like, this is cute, you know? Love is love. And I think that this is great, great for the whole cast to have like, try to interact with that because it's almost like you can't look away from it. Like they're so lovable with each other,
and it feels like they're all okay with it so far because Pops doesn't seem to have like that big of an issue, and he's more old school. Even the cousins, they're all like, hey, what's up, whatever, like another homie. It's not like the girlfriend or la novia ahí viene,
Oh, but who does seem to have like a little issue? The mom, Anna's mom.
When she
called her,
there you go.
What did she say? Negra or something?
Oh, yeah, la negrita.
Yeah, but that's kind of like, I like that they showed that because
it's a real life situation.
It is because my mom, if I had like a Filipino friend, she'd be like, "Oh, la chinita," and I'd be like, "Mom, that's not the correct way. Like you wouldn't want people calling us like like all
Mexicans, even if you're like Puerto Rican." No,
la paisita or something, because it does hurt people, and I think that it needed to be shown because certain Hispanic mothers grew up kind of, very differently. So, for example, like my mom, she's indigenous, so she grew up thinking in such a very Catholic religious way. So I'm not gonna lie, at first, like the LGBT community thing to her was like very, very new and almost like hard for her to digest. But now that, it's so common to see and like, we have gay members in our family. Now she's more accepting of it.
Right.
So as long as I feel like you love somebody, you will accept it. So I mean, even with this family, they seem like they love each other, so they're very accepting of Anna, and it's not even an issue. It's very normal to them. But I do feel like in most Hispanic families, it's still not so normal. So hopefully with this show, it will try to like normalize, the LGBT communities and all that, like the relationships that, we see created here.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. I mean, there are, pride happens in the bigger cities, like in Mexico, in Ciudad de Mexico is where they have pride. But other than that, I know in Guadalajara they have Pride, but I don't know, besides those two cities, which are the first and second largest cities in Mexico, I don't, at least that I'm aware of, they don't have Pride, which is, it just goes to show como no todo el país, o no toda la gente todavía está lista.
Yeah.
But, I think any baby steps, first of all. And then I think small victories, like, si ya en vez de ninguna ciudad, ahora es una, dos ciudades, es mejor que nada. Entonces, I think it's cool that, slowly, no todos tienen que pensar igual, no todos tienen que estar de acuerdo con las mentalidades, pero siempre respetarse y ya es todo. Creo que es lo único que la gente
primero.
Sí. Oye, moving on from LGBT, the topic of LGBT, so going into colorism and Afro-Latinos. So we have Yulisa Calderon, who plays... oh my gosh.
Yessika.
Yessika, yes, thank you.
I knew you were going to forget because there's so many new characters.
There are, yes.
It's a brand new show.
Give us about until episode 3 to be like, Yessika, yes, pause.
Yeah, no,
But,
I was like, okay, this is Yessika. Like trying to figure out who's who. But I mean, most of them have like common,
they do.
Latino names. So that's what's cool.
So La Jessie.
La Jessie,
La
you
Jessie,
were saying.
So she is Dominican and she was actually on a podcast. So there's this new podcast on Netflix and it's hosted by one of your favorite shows, one of the actresses, Dasha Polanco. She used to play Daya on Orange is the New Black. Yeah, so she is also Afro-Latina and the podcast is actually called Brown Love.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah, and on this first episode, which I was listening on my way here, which I highly recommend you guys, we have a picture on the screen. So if you guys are on iTunes or Spotify, I suggest you head to the link on YouTube so you can see the
And they
picture.
all look so gorgeous.
They're so beautiful.
I love them. Brown really is beautiful.
They are.
Not just saying that because I'm brown.
Right. No, but even, like for me, growing up in Mexico, there is an a Blaxican community, you know, which is negros
like
y mexicanos. Yeah, like Afro-Latinos. But I wasn't aware of that until I was like 18.
Okay.
I was not aware of that community. And, they talk about how some families or even certain people are a little bit ashamed of that because es la manera en que los hicieron pensar, like, oh, okay, you might be brown, but you're also Spanish, You're also like, pero tu abuela nació en España, things like that. So I think it's really important and really interesting to dive into the topic.
Of being like mixed?
Being mixed and the fact that we're so different. Like, we're Mexican, but then you might see an Argentinian and they're lighter. Or you might see like them. You might see someone who's Puerto Rican or someone who's Cuban, and they're black, but they're still Latino, and they still speak Spanish. So I think that's really, really cool. But I don't know about for you growing up here, going to school here. Hay más diversidad porque en Mexico, like I said, like at least in my school, I can speak for that. No había muchos extranjeros o de otras races, like blacks or Filipinos. So how was your experience with you being so in touch with that?
So I feel like colorism is a thing, especially, with the Latino community. Like where I grew up, it was such an indigenous town too.
Okay.
Shout out to Santa Maria, California. So over there, a lot of agriculture. So we grew up with the field life, the farm life.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, like there's a lot of Oaxacans there. So over there, like Oaxacans would be made fun of. So like they'd call them like little Oaxaquitas or paisitas. And given that I have Oaxacan background and that I'm brown, I would just like. I would be so down. I would get so down on myself, and I would feel like my skin color isn't pretty enough. I would feel like, maybe they look at me like I'm just one of them, even though I was born here. So it's cool to see like the star, Yessika playing, the Afro-Latina in this show and being judged because, she's half black. So I can relate to how she must feel, even though you don't see her, like get angry about it. I feel like it does hurt her, I could tell.
Yeah.
But she's such a strong, fierce Latina that I love how she just like, she's such an activist and she, you know, she owns it. And I think that's what a few brown girls might be going through, you know. It's hard for them to own like their, you know, their skin color almost, so because, you know, they've been shunned upon or they've been told, you know, your you know, skin color isn't that beautiful, especially like with advertisements you see, you know, in magazines, TVs, all that stuff. Like you don't learn to love yourself sometimes. So I feel like growing up, you need to go through so many experiences in life to have to, you know, finally you know, accept yourself. And I think that's what happened with me, and I could see that happening with the girls. Some of them already look like, you know, they're like, you know, fully, you know, like just ready to take on the world and that Latina, you know, brown pride. So I like that the writers, you know, included all that. So I found out America Ferrera produced this show, and I was just like, you know, this is so awesome, because growing up, like, not gonna lie, she was one of the first people that made me feel like really, you know, good being Latina. Because when I saw Latina on screen, I was like, whoa. Oh, wow. I remember seeing her in Sister of Traveling Pants, in that movie. Just like mind blew me. I was like, you know what, like, you know, Latinas can be beautiful, especially like on screen. So that was awesome. Yeah, I think that's the important. Oh, sorry, go ahead. No, I was gonna say, how would you relate with the characters of you know?
Well, I can say this. Joaquín Cosío, who is Pops, es muy popular y muy conocido en México.
Oh, sí.
Yeah, he's been in so many shows, so many movies.
¿Novelas o...?
No, mainly TV shows. Okay. But, like, it's so funny because I, like, growing up, I always saw him in the screen.
Okay.
But then even researching about him, I found out he's been in so many big projects. Like, he was in a James Bond movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in 2007, he played the bad guy, which he usually does, but he does so well. Play the bad guy. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he was in Infierno. He played a narco. He was in...
también está en Mexico's Narcos.
Yeah, so, in Narcos Mexico.
Sí,
yeah,
es actor ahí playing Don Neto.
Yes. And then he was in a movie with Johnny Depp, Lone Ranger.
Oh, no he mirado ese.
Me neither, pero... But I found out. So for me, again, it's a different story, because me growing up in Mexico and coming here, it's like, wow, like, for me, just how you felt about America Ferrera, for me, it was like, wow, like, the fact that they would take a Mexican actor, not Mexican-American, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, but for me, I identify mostly with him, because he's Mexican. He grew up in Mexico. So he's not Mexican and grew up here, you know, when he was 2 years old and so on. Or he wasn't born here, but with Mexican parents. Like, he's 100% Mexican. So when I see him on a big screen, on a Hollywood movie for me, or like a show like this on an American company on Netflix, it's like, wow, you can do it. Like, I can do it. Can. Yeah. And also seeing him, you know, we've seen a lot of issues of... actors don't get casted anymore because of their age, or they get casted on specific roles only, like typecasting. So for me, that's really cool, just to see him actively still work on projects that are relevant. And again, just the fact that, you know, even if he speaks English, he has an accent, but he's still getting the parts. So that's very inspiring to me.
And he's playing, like, real, you know, parts. You know, like, there are grandfathers out there, you know, that speak broken English. But at least they're speaking it, you know?
They're trying.
Yeah, they're trying. And I do love seeing the transition to that. You know, he was a Mexican actor. Yeah. Y ahora está, you know, haciendo shows con Netflix. Yeah. Y Netflix has a huge platform, so I feel like it's really, you know, finally showing the faces that, you know, haven't been shown out there. Right. Yeah, like, so shout out to Netflix for, you know, for sure, putting Latinos out there.
Oye, y tú nos tienes un dato muy interesante about the artwork on the Gentefied promo pictures, and even right here on the cover screen that we have on the background. So tell us a little bit about that.
Sí, so tenemos una pintora, ¿cómo se dice?
Ajá, sí, pintora.
Sí, tú que sabes más que yo. Se llama Emilia Cruz. Ajá. Y ella ha pintado muchos bonitos dibujos que enseñan las las mujeres latinas en una, more beautiful way.
Okay.
I can't even say that part.
It's okay.
So ella tiene una Instagram y ahí puedes mirar todos sus dibujos y también es una maestra y trabaja aquí en Los Ángeles en
wow.
Plaza de la Raza.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so en su tiempo ella ayuda a enseñar a los niños cómo pintar y todo.
Oh, wow.
So también la actriz Carrie está como playing the part de ella.
Okay.
Porque le están enseñando los paintings de ella en Gentefied.
So those are real paintings.
Yeah, so los paintings que miras
awesome.
es de ella.
Yeah.
Sí.
Oh, that's even better.
They're so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, I love color. And
oh, wow.
I want to know what you use, girl.
Right.
Is this oil canvas?
Right.
What is this?
So that's really cool, que si te gusta alguna pintura que viste en el show, you can actually, like, purchase it.
Yeah.
Like, you can just probably go on her Instagram. She has her info there, or you can probably, like, DM her.
And you can hire her for, you know, if you have a Mexican restaurant, you know,
right.
she can, like, probably get, mural
That's
going.
Amazing.
But yeah, so it's cool that, they're showcasing a real artist's, work out here, and that she's from, LA too, or technically LA. She's from San Diego.
Okay.
And she's first generation, so she moved to Simi Valley at an early age, and she's been out here in LA, just, working away. So it's pretty cool.
That's es de admirar, like, especially the fact that she's not even from LA, but now she's known in LA, and
she made her mark.
Yeah, exactly. So that's really, really, really cool. I'm still, like, distracted about the paintings.
Yes.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think this show is just, like, gonna be just amazing. I know someone here is bunged a little. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
but
maybe a little bit.
we are so excited to, just see this show take off, and especially, with such a great cast, know? Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think? So we end this episode with Pops getting arrested.
Oh my God,
which
that
was
hilarious.
So funny. So ¿tú qué crees que va a pasar next for episode 2? Do you think he's gonna get out? Do you think they're gonna pay bail? Because they already have todos estos bills del restaurant.
Oh,
so
yes.
They have to come up with a plan, because we don't want him to stay incarcerated for longer than one night,
Yeah.
So tell me.
I think since the grandson has a lot of money saved up, they might use him to help get Pops out. But I can't believe Pops did this. Like, it's almost like, he's the kid.
Exactly, yeah.
He's the kid getting in trouble, and the kids are saving him.
Yeah.
But, I'm not going to say that's very common. I feel like...
I hope not.
Not that I've heard.
Right.
I do have a drunk grandma, but, she doesn't even know how to drive, so it's a good thing,
Yeah.
She can't get...
She won't even try.
No, but this guy wasn't even driving, too. He just...
He was peeing on the street, which is still illegal, and then
he broke...
breaking windows.
Windows.
So
he was just being like, un chingon.
Yeah.
But I think my prediction is he's gonna get out. Like, he won't be able to. I think the kids will not allow him to be in jail for too long.
Not. Now we're coming for them.
So now you'll see the real loyalty of the family here. Yeah, but what about you? What do you think is gonna happen?
I think he will get out, because I don't think they'll keep him in, like, just for the first episode, and then lo van a dejar en la cárcel. Pero definitely it's not going to be easy. I mean, just the setup already is, it's not looking good. So maybe we won't see him for the whole second episode, maybe until episode 3. I'm very curious to see how they work it out, because even though one of the cousins has money, Chris, it's still, he's hesitant, because he has his own future. He's going to, he's working at a restaurant, and clearly has a boss que está en la fregada.
Oh, sí.
And he just asked for a recommendation letter, so he has to be on his good side right now. And then, just judging by his behavior and, like, his attitude, he seems like a lot of work. So, you always have to have a backup plan and some money saved in case you lose your job or something happens. So maybe he won't let go of his money that easily. But again, at the end of the day, he lives with him, and that's his pop, so he you know.
It's like he owes him.
Yeah, exactly. He should pay him back, you know. But yeah, we'll see. So tell us, where can you find... ¿Dónde te podemos encontrar? ¿Ves? A mí también se me dificulta hablar luego en inglés.
No, pero tú lo sabes más que yo. Okay, so me pueden encontrar en Instagram @California. Okay. And what about you?
A mí me pueden encontrar como Issac Meizner en todas mis redes sociales. Y esto ha sido todo por el primer capítulo. Muchísimas gracias.
Yes.
Los invitamos a que nos vean para el capítulo 2 y nos vemos a la próxima.
Bye.
Nuestros fundadores Keven Undergaro y Maria Menounos quieren agradecerles por estar aquí en AfterBuzz TV. Recuerden que no solo somos los primeros en ser los más grandes del mundo y el único destino para todos sus programas de televisión favoritos. Así, vayan a AfterBuzzTV.com para ver nuestra lista de shows. ¡Hasta luego!